Welcome to the 420 Smoke Room. Today our guest is Drago Jones. I believe I said his name right. He's Drago the artist. Hi, how are you?
I'm wonderful. How about yourself?
Good. So, for those of you who don't know, I'm going to give you an opportunity to kind of tell people what it is you do for a living. I know you're kind of the jack of a few different traits, it seems to be.
Yeah, just a couple.
Yeah, so let's tell everybody what it is you do.
So I usually supply the streets with guns and drugs, especially for
Woohoo!
the youth.
No.
No, but I'm currently an artist. I'm a military vet, and I just try to share hope with people one day at a time.
Okay. I definitely do like your artwork. It's caught in my eye. I also like the shoes. I was definitely looking into those shoes you were doing. And are those shoes that you design like yourself on the outside, or how does that work?
So with the art that I post, most of it is commission work. So people will give me an idea, and they'll just kind of let me go from there. Like they're like, hey, I want some music themed shoes with a couple of parameters, and then they'll just give me freedom of creativity, and I just flow.
That's amazing.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, and I
Try
like
to
it.
really practice stuff on a lot of different types of things because like you said, jack of all trades. I try to master myself so that way I can do just about anything. I like to be, by definition, an artist. So I don't want people to look at me and be like, oh, he's a painter, oh, he's a drawer. I don't like the confines of like boxes and labels. So I'm an
Yeah,
artist. Like I do music, drawing, painting, sculpting. Like it doesn't really matter what you put in front of me. I make art out of it.
that's the vibe I definitely got. That's why it was really hard for me to put you in a category as well because I'm like, oh, he does shoes, he does clothes, he does paintings. Like I seen like these videos where you're actually like teaching people as well how to draw. And I'm like, he does like everything in the art industry. There's really not something that he's not involved in. And then I went over to Spotify and I see you even do music. I'm like, oh yeah, he's definitely got the art vibe all the way around.
Yeah, I even got a tattoo I'm working on. I'm dropping that progress, I think, on TikTok and Facebook.
Yes, on TikTok I seen tattoos, and when I was looking at that, I wasn't sure yet if it was your work or not. But I'm like, I don't know if he shared, like if you were sharing. I'm like, I was a little confused at first, but then now that you do mention the tattoos, I recall the tattoo work. So that is your
I got a
actual
video.
work.
I got a video of me actually tattooing myself, so you can't really question the work.
No, not at all. And it wasn't like in a rude. Like I didn't know that that was your work when you were doing it, like sharing it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
amazing.
That's why my tag is Drago the artist because that's just how I embody art. It's in my veins. I tried to quit it, but it won't quit me.
You tattooed yourself as well, and that's not easy.
No, I actually got a little dizzy and cross-eyed when I
I'm
started.
sorry. Say that again.
I said I actually got a little dizzy and cross-eyed when I started. It's a little tricky looking in the mirror and doing it on your chest, so my neck got cramped up a little bit.
Oh yeah, that's even a hard location too. You didn't just choose your arm or somewhere simple. The chest is definitely hard to like do on yourself.
Most definitely. That was probably the hardest place I could have chosen to tattoo.
Yeah, especially if that was your first one you did on yourself. You definitely set the bracket high.
That's how I live life, though. If you're gonna do the most, why not do it all? I mean, we only get one life to live, and not to be cliche, but I'd rather live life full of experiences and look back and be like, man, I was crazy enough to do that, instead of looking back and being like, man, what if I had did this? What if I had did that?
Yes, I'm on that part of my life in my journey right now. I used to be like not like I would be too safe about it. Now I'm just like just do it instead of looking back because I have so many memories where I look back and I'm like I should have. Yeah. But one moment actually, I'm having some technical difficulties with the device. There. Hello.
Yeah, I think my call dropped.
I think so. Welcome back. We're still on and live. I was just about to stop it and fix it, but you called right back in.
Cool.
Perfect.
Where did
So,
I cut off at?
at the vibe of where the journey of where we just don't want to look back and be like, I wish I would have done that. I just, you just reach for it and go do it. I like it. So, what inspired you to become an artist? Like, was it something in your childhood, or how did art start for you?
Um, yeah, honestly, it wasn't my childhood. I was a bit of a nerd. I didn't really connect with people, but I noticed that when I drew pictures, uh, people would come to me and watch me. You know, it's kind of seemed like when you're creating art and people are watching, they low key accept you. And it's kind of crazy because it's like a non-verbal, action that happens between you two. And it's like while they're observing and appreciating you, you're expressing yourself and you feel accepted as well. And that was kind of important, being a nerd. And, the smart person is usually seen as like the guy pushed away from everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So it started off there, and then I kind of put it down for most of my life just because wasn't something I had a passion for. It was just something I would do to keep myself out of trouble. And it wasn't until like after the military, and I moved out south to Tennessee, and I had some people from my past hit me up while I was working for a pretty big company, and it's like I had a really good pay. I was getting paid 35 an hour, full time, overtime, travel pay, all the benefits you could want out of a job. But
You weren't happy.
I wasn't really like happy.
Mm-hmm.
So after like a few people hit me up asking me, if I was still doing art, I guess that's, God or whoever you believe in, send me my messages, but I wasn't responding or catching them. And then somebody directly was like, "Are you happy?" I remember it was my buddy Tyson. He was like, "Are you happy?" And even though I had money in my bank account, even though I had a good job, even though I had all this stuff, I sat and I Googled the word happy, and it kind of changed my mindset and led to like changing my entire life. So every night I sat and I drew a little bit for 30 minutes before I went to bed. Just a little bit because I wanted to get better a little bit in my art. Because
Mm-hmm.
people were telling me my art was inspirational to them. So I wanted to continue passing on that hope and light. It's my buddy Mike Collins. He told me, man, keep sharing the light. So the first picture I wanted to get better at was Robin Williams. And every night for 30 minutes, I practiced. And then I hopped on this community with like 250,000 people in it. They're all artists and on Facebook. And I let them grind me to bits. Like whatever they had to say about my art, I
Oh.
just received it. Any advice they had, I took it.
And
I asked
that's
questions.
hard to take criticism in, especially as an artist, because we already criticize ourselves enough that to take
Oh
it from
yeah.
other people is hard. So when you did that, what was the feedback? What was the verdict that you come to that I need to
Oh,
fix this or that?
that was probably one of the wildest responses. So like, I didn't really dabble into social media before that. So like, I know what it feels like now to have a little bit of a response by social media, but I had posted a picture and it had 200 and some comments in like 10 minutes, and it was a little overwhelming because a lot of it was negative. I consider that constructive criticism.
Yes.
That's just because I'm a resilient person.
So what did you get out of the constructive criticism? What was it that like they said you needed to work on? Your shading, your definition, your coloring, your
Uh,
tones.
all of the above. It
So
was it was super critical. So those people that are like they're really good at eyeballing stuff not being level. Like you can
yeah.
just tell because they're perfectionists. If
Mhm.
something's not symmetrical, they know. Those people are the ones that have the best criticism because they're accurate and they're not being judgmental.
True.
So
True.
my proportions were a little off. If the eyes were just a touch off, like the smallest amount, pushing my shade and graduating my tones to darker contrast.
Yeah.
All of the above needs to be better with that picture.
So at this point in time, how old were you like when you decided to put
This
yourself
was
out there?
about 7 years ago.
Oh, how old
So,
are you now?
I'm 33,
33. Okay. So you were in your like 20-ish,
26.
26. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a big turning point.
Yeah. So at this point, what did you do? What did you go to town on? What was the next project that you produced and you put out? What was the response?
After that, I did a picture of Prince. I did like every week. I did a different
I
artist.
seen your Michael Jordan
Prince.
one. I don't know when that came into play, but I seen a couple of your famous ones. But the Michael Jordan one, the definition on the color, because to get the right definition on African Americans is hard in art, because there's so many different shades of black. It's not the same, And you like nailed it. I really thought that I didn't even realize it was like a painting. I almost thought it was like a print at first. And then I realized, oh no, that's one of his paintings. Like he painted that. And I was
Thank
just
you.
so amazed at like all of your like I had a full ride scholarship for art that I passed on. Um
Oh wow.
yeah. A lot of people don't know about that for me. I was in high school. I got pregnant with my daughter who just turned 18. And I just couldn't, I couldn't stay in school. I was having a baby, and it was one or the other. So I was on National Art Honor Society. I was a chair member. Um, and I had a full ride and a grant, the scholarship for when I graduated that I would have gotten to uphold and take had I had not walked away.
Wow. Well, kudos to you for making that incredibly difficult decision.
It
I
was.
definitely commend you for that.
But
I thought,
what you said in the beginning about looking back on, I always look back and I've always had that passion and that, art's what makes me happy. Like it does, like how you said. But I still never fully have taken the time to pick it back up. But I've got a million other crafts since.
well,
Um,
if it makes you feel any better, I tried to go to school for art 4 different occasions, like to 4 different schools, and I dropped out each time. So if that can help you
it
out,
does.
I mean,
Like it does.
like, it wasn't until I went to school for business that art picked up.
Okay.
If art is inside you, why would you go to school for it?
That's how I felt. And I've already taken every class in high school for business and art that I literally felt like, what else could I need? I already took the college classes that you guys offer too. So I've already done the
Well, after that,
college, I felt.
in my opinion, the part that's missing isn't outside, it's inside.
Mm-hmm.
So the main thing I told you is that, well, I didn't tell you how I was working that job. I was working 16 hours a day, no days off. So
Damn.
it was good pay. It was some slave work, but I liked the work because it kept me busy. As soon as I went home, I had to eat and go to sleep just to be up at 4 in the morning and back at work. But it kept me busy. But even despite that, I noticed that before bed every night, I spent an hour on social media. So out of that hour, I cut it in half, and I started spending 30 minutes on this drawing of Robin Williams, and 30 minutes, scrolling through all those messages in the group, and checking out advice
Yeah.
from artists. Get what I'm saying? So
It's
I
an
used my
inspiration.
artistic mind to make my environment work for me.
Yeah. I can see, you're inspiring me to pick back up the paintbrush. 'Cause I was a painter.
It's definitely worth it because, in all honesty, I find art everywhere now. That 30 minutes grew to an hour, grew to many hours, and it grew and pushed my job. I quit. I just walked in and quit my job one day. It was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm gonna do art. I had no
Ooh.
clue what I was doing on the art end, but I've had months to where in
That's
three
a
months I
brave
made over
soul.
10 grand. 3 months I made 200 paintings and I made over 10 grand.
Holy shit!
So,
Fuck that job. Okay, that brave soul. Yes. Like
but that came after I quit, though. You know what I mean? Like I
right, but
didn't
you
know
had to
that in
take that
between.
hump and like be brave to do it, and greater things came, like the higher
Not,
power.
not, definitely not saying for anybody to quit their job, but I am saying that if you kind of work the things that are naturally you, work towards those strengths, and it'll show new paths out for you. Things will work out a lot different for you.
Yeah, you'll know your time too, because like you said, you had a lot of work revolving coming in, and it's either do I go to work or do I work on these projects today. So at that
Yeah,
point in time, it's kind of like if I'm gonna do this, let's just do it. So I could
yeah.
see, and that would be a good time. Like I wouldn't just wake up one day and be like, I'm gonna do art and I don't even know what I'm doing. Let's quit. No, no, no. Like you said, practice first, get to where you're at a good point, and then take that leap.
Well, and then get a mentor. Then get a mentor.
Ooh, that's
Then
a
get a
good,
mentor.
good.
I did have a mentor. His name is Ola Subami. He's in Clarksville, Tennessee right now. He has a gallery in Nashville as well. And I was taking one of my pieces, I think Nipsey. I was taking my piece of Nipsey to get it framed at Hobby Lobby, and the lady thought it was his work. And I got his information pulled up on him 15 minutes later, and he gave me some of the most sound advice a person can give because he was already 7 years deep into the art game.
Okay.
So something like split everything to a third. You should never be at a point where all you're doing is commissions. You should never be at a point where you're only doing the work you want to do, and you should never be at a point where you're only doing nothing. So split into a third. So out of your time, a third of your time should be commissions, a third should be the work that you want to do. This is to maintain your internal peace. And the other third should be like the promotion or events or networking, just something to kind of interact with other people. And that keeps you from getting dull because as artists, we'll climb in a hole quick.
Yes. And I like that advice. That is really good advice. And your mentor definitely seems amazing. Shouts out.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, and he was already 7 years deep, so he had lots of knowledge and experience to pass down to someone who's willing
And
like
that led
you.
me go on my own path to where I got to teach with the city. I got an offer to teach for the state. I actually got an offer to teach for a school. I got an offer to start a school. I got a lot of offers that I just didn't feel like I was worthy of because I guess I didn't see my potential the way other people could see. You ever had like a little puppy or a kitten, and like they always do something small and cute, like climb on your feet, and then like 3 years later they're gigantic and they're still trying to climb on your feet?
Yes.
Kind of like that. Like I didn't realize that I wasn't as small as I thought I was.
Yeah, you're bigger than you really realize at times. But at the same time, because you're a regular human and you live a regular life too, you don't realize how fast things around you have grown and how big your name or your work has gotten. And until you wake up one day and you're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
So, what was that epiphany for you? How was that? When did you wake up and realize? So, since you didn't take those jobs, you didn't feel you were ready. When did you feel you were ready? Now I'm ready. So you feel like at a point in your career, see, I like that because to me, I feel like you're very big and very successful. And to you, you feel like you're just getting started. And that mind frame is going to get you into places you've never imagined. I like it.
I like to say since November, I've been like, I guess I should probably be more like out there because I've been really kind of, I thought I was being humble and just lowly, but I guess I've been too non-existent to the public. I've done events and I've done quite a few things. I've done community works and I started this summer program, but that was just me thinking up something and trying to give the people what they ask for, to help out the kids, give them something to do over the summer. But I can do so much more.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm excited to follow.
This podcast, like this was me saying, giving myself a little grace and being like, if she sees value in me, then I'll go for it.
I do. I see a lot of value and your artwork is beautiful. And if you, like you said, you don't even know where you're going to go. Like in 10 years, I have a feeling like we'll look back. I always like that 10-year mark because in 10 years, it goes by so fast, even though people think it's so far away. Yeah. It's not. And in 10 years, I could imagine where you're going to be because where you're at now, you have a large following, an active following, and they like everything you present. It doesn't matter what you're working on. They're right there, tuned in, keyed in. And not only that, but you interact with your fans. Like you're a real person to them. You're not just some influencer type of person who's just trying to push a product for whoever. It's actual art. It's you. It's genuine. All your pieces are phenomenal. It looks like you spend an amazing amount of time on them. They're not just something you sit down and do for 30 minutes. You know what I mean? Like it looks like you're there for hours. And I kind of believe you probably are, because there's no way that like just the amount. It's beautiful. I used to paint scenery. I cannot do people, and I've been eyeballing your noses and eyes, and that's the two hardest parts. Like I don't know, your shading and your eyes, it makes it look real.
Thank you. I love doing eyes. That's actually where I started off with eyes, like when I was 8. So I nose is just a weird thing. The way the light hits it, there's so many
It
different
is.
shades and gradients and different like shapes in it.
It is. That's where I gave up at. I could do eyes, and but then trying to get them to sit right with the indent of the face was really hard for me. So I like to just draw random eyes on stuff, and I don't do the rest of the face. They're faceless
Some
people.
artists, dude. So this comes to I learned this too. Uh, when in doubt, art it out. Like, why are you trying to do eyes? Okay, so we get really critical on ourselves. We're always
Yes.
about perfection because we know where we mean to go. But have you ever seen those paintings with, like the strip of red tape across the eyes?
No.
You know, it'd be something crazy, like, and then the eyes would be rated out. You know, just like red, like somebody took a wide paintbrush and just went across the face, and you can't see the eye.
Okay.
But sometimes I sit and I look at that kind of art because it blow up like Basquiat and stuff, and I'm like, what if that person was just hiding the fact that they couldn't do eyes?
Right. Because eyes are hard, but to me, I learned eyes first in art, like in my art classes. But the nose, I just couldn't get over that for real hump. Like every time, it's a different hump, and then the shades of the humps, and then the texture, and then you got to worry about the person's skin. Then you got to worry about their texture of their skin, trying to make it look like them. And everyone's got different everything. That I could do the hair, the eyes, I could do lips, but like the noses, could we just be noseless? Maybe cheekboneless
Right?
sometimes.
You could put it. You know what I'm saying? Like if you were to art it out, it could be your style to just put a tree in place of everybody else. You know what I mean? Like play to your strengths. I personally really like
I like these
portraits like
thoughts.
horrible in background. So if you look at a lot of my art, you'll see really plain backgrounds because I'm intimidated by all the negative space.
Oh, see, I'm the opposite. I love sunsets. I draw and paint so many sunsets. And I've taken pictures of sunsets like every day of my life. And I told my daughter one day when I'm old and I can't get out of bed, I'm going to paint all the pictures of every sun I took.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love the colors, but I can never like fathom how to get them as vibrant, especially the fuchsias and
Oh, that's my
violets when they're
favorite
up
part.
there
That's
together.
I did live scenery. I like doing like pottery. I have lots of pottery ones I did. I like doing sunsets. I like doing mountains and pine trees
Very nice.
and water,
You
like
know,
waterfall and water, all kinds of water.
now I did get better from partnering with people. So I had a studio downtown, and there was about 5 or 6 of us all together, and I intentionally told everybody we had to collab. So it's cool to be in your corner, but let's partner up on some stuff. So I volunteer on some canvases that were half done or whatever,
Hmm.
and I asked the guys just to put their specialty on it, whether it be in design, background, highlights, whatever.
I like it.
So working with other artists, I think, is really essential to your growth as an artist because it lets you know that, like, just to see someone else's take on your piece is phenomenal. And yeah, it looks like I spend, like gobs of hours on portraits, but I don't really because I didn't know how much time you were supposed to spend on it. So I just drew. I don't know how to put it, but I learned and I applied, and I'm lazy, so I would like to work fast. So I go, what's the quickest way to get this gradient or this shade or this texture?
Hmm.
So like I don't worry about the skin because I saw a lazy person do really quick stippling with a eraser to make texture on the skin and then went over with a light paintbrush. And I'm mixed media too. So a lot of the stuff you'll see, it's pencil, it's charcoal, it's and the application is what matters. I use paintbrushes a lot with my charcoal.
Yeah, the charcoal ones are harder too. I liked charcoaling, but it was the definition. It's everywhere, all over. It's
So what I would
definitely.
have you do if I was your teacher, I get an 18 by 24 piece of paper, and I just have you draw a nose. That's it, just one giant nose, and that's the best way to learn a nose from my perspective, or to learn any part is just blow it up.
Okay. I'm interested, really. Like, you're inspiring, and your artwork is beautiful. Your knowledge is beautiful. The fact that you're so willing to share, I
Yeah,
like it. You're phenomenal.
it's all about growth, but what is growth worth is I just hold on to it and not,
Not
go
share.
climb in the grave 6 feet under and nobody else has it. What did I do to help anybody? I just look to be the help that I never had.
I like that. See, and now it's like everyone makes painting like there's so many artists out there. Like like when I go through TikTok or I go through like these reels, I didn't have all that. Like when I was doing art, that wasn't even like we didn't even have cell phones.
Yeah.
Like so I literally only had the knowledge from the teacher, like the only the teacher that was provided to me through the schools. I didn't really have, there was no media, social medias, there was no any other platforms to even get knowledge from others. That like once I dropped out of school, it's like who else is going to teach me art now? Like I looked for like the
Yeah.
teacher, even though it's within, like there's so many skills that you like just learn just from other people, like conversations like we just had.
Yeah.
But there's no, like I didn't feel there was anywhere to go to have those. Now that there's social
I know.
media, it's so much
The
easier
biggest,
to learn from others and communicate with. I like.
the biggest boundary I had before I learned from other people was self. So, like I was by myself for like 2 years where I didn't really interact with anybody. I just stayed in the house. I think COVID had just hit. I didn't have the studio or anything. Um, Exploration. Like, even a caterpillar climbs into a cocoon for a while before it comes out to party with everybody. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And it can do it from such a greater perspective. Like, as a caterpillar, it only crawled. But as a butterfly, it's able to fly, and you rarely ever see a butterfly crawl again. You know what I mean? Because it never looks back.
Right.
So, with art, I didn't really learn much in school because those people were limited by what they learned, and a lot of them were still trying to be, big time artists. I never had a goal or a dream to be a big time artist. I just wanted to know how the hell do you use charcoal? Like, how the hell do you use pencil? How does this person make this look like that? That was it. Like, I kept it very simple and accurate as far as what I wanted to learn each time. I didn't say, like, oh, well, I want this to look like Michael Jordan. First, I was like, how do I make my eyes better? And once I felt like I got good at eyes, okay, now how do I make the mouth, congruent? Or how do I make the ears not look weird? You get what I'm saying? Like, I did
Mm-hmm.
one thing with each piece, and each piece allowed me to grow because I kept my focus very simple, especially hands, because hands will have you want to choke yourself. But, when you break it down like that, you're
I
not
never
putting
thought
so
about
much
the
pressure on
hands.
you.
Like now
Yeah.
that you're saying it, I'm looking at my hands like, let's just
Yeah,
hide those.
hands on legs, arms, and hands like really frustrate artists because they want the entire thing to look good. But it's like you just gotta take it piece by piece. Just like when you're drawing a hand, you start from the fingernail and work each digit back, or however you do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I just know you're
So
amazing at doing people because it's one of the hardest things in the art industry to do, and you are able to also perfect famous people just from looking at another photo, and like, that's even harder to do
I
because.
bought better crap though. So I was using cheap crap, and then I bought better crap, and I was like, oh, is this feels so much better. Like
Hmm.
drawing on that basic paper, it's kind of like having sex with sandpaper.
Hmm.
But when you like get good paper, it's like the smoothest thing you'll ever feel in the world. Like you actually feel turned on when you get good material to apply.
That's how I felt when I upgraded my paintbrushes in high school. My teacher took me on like a shopping spree and she got me this expensive brush for like 20 something dollars. And I had always had like
Yeah,
dollar store packs or something.
yeah. And that was probably your favorite brush.
I had that brush for like 15 years until one of my dogs got it and I was so mad and cried, and it was a fan brush, and like
Oh,
I cried like and everyone's probably hearing this like what the fuck she cried over a paintbrush, but like I was like it was like the best paintbrush, the strokes, like even when I went to learn to like to
yep,
paint in my own house, once I started painting I upgraded in the paintbrushes because of that one experience taught me
yep.
don't be cheap with your supplies.
So when I got that $10,000 in that summer, I put
Oh,
most of that right back into the art supplies.
what was your first
That
upgrades?
just blew everything up. Hmm?
What was your first upgrade? Like, what was the first thing when you got the money? You're like, I'm going to buy this. Like, what was your first
Oh, I bought it
purchase?
all at the same time.
I couldn't wait.
Yeah, I got a big account with Jerry's Artorama, and I got gallons of paint, not just tubes. I
Hmm.
upgraded my paint brushes. They were all $40 a piece. I even got the weird texture things that I would
Ooh.
never spend my own money on, but I was like, let's do it. I got gigantic canvases, um,
Yes.
and I got colors that I normally wouldn't try to get either. because I'm like, what am I going to do with this? So I had a whole year of nothing but neon. That was absolutely phenomenal.
Lord. That is
Yeah, when you're over your
amazing.
stuff, so you mastered that fan brush. You feel me?
I
So
did.
imagine if you just had the right tool in all these other categories, then it
Yeah.
wouldn't be that bad for you. They have measuring tools for doing portraits. It's this really old school tool. I'll have to send you a link, but
Well, I know the
I really
measurements. I got
feel
that down packed. Like I know that the top of your nose, like the bottom of it lines up with the top of your ears. The middle of your mouth lines up with the bottom of
no,
your
I'm
ear.
saying there's an actual tool that like nobody knows about because they developed it like 400 years ago. Like
Oh.
some people even think it's a compass, but it's not. It's a very specific art tool, and that's what I use to measure everything and get it right with like the Robin Williams picture. And I was like, oh man, the angles are wrong, are wrong. Like they got me to
Okay.
perfection with lines, but it's not a compass. It doesn't have any measurements on it. It's just a tool that you can open and close. It looks like chopsticks that are fused to the top. It does look
Okay.
like a compass from math class, but it isn't because it does different things.
Yeah.
But it would.
It almost reminds me of. I think I know what tool you're talking about, and almost. But there's another similar one that you put the ground and makes the even circles.
Yeah, it's similar.
Yeah,
Like
it's similar
yeah,
to that,
it
but
looks like, but it isn't that.
okay,
I
okay.
you know, using the right tool for the right thing, if you need things to be right, that helps out a lot.
Okay. Well, I'm
You know
really
what I mean?
excited. Like I just wouldn't even imagine like the amount of art stuff like how you just said that is like I mean even a $40 paintbrush. So how did you feel like you said you wouldn't even spend your money. How did you all of that work for you? Like once you got it, like
Oh,
what did you
I
like
flipped. I hopped on social media, taking pictures or videos. Mind you, people didn't know because they aren't artists, but artists knew how much this stuff
I'm
was.
sorry, I couldn't
I
hear
went
you.
crazy. Huh?
You went out, you broke up for a moment. I couldn't hear you. Could you repeat that last part?
I said I went crazy and I just started doing everything. So people would hit me up asking me to do random things, and I just like, sure, I do it. Not, no one live every single day. At that point, I was going live every day doing my art. That made a
See.
huge difference in my following.
And even emotionally and mentally, how did that help you? Because I know that's like you said, you were happy. So how was that
Yeah.
for you every day? Like the drive to wake up and
Well, I intentionally noticed that I did very well painting in the mornings while the sun was up, and I did better drawing at night. Even especially with my iPad or anything digital, I do that at night. But in the morning, it was tremendous for my mood because I started off with grace. I'd be like, well, hey everybody, I don't know what the hell I'm doing today, but we all finna see. So even though to them it looks like I know what I'm doing, it really was my first time doing that particular technique or trying out a paint pour or this combination. You know what I mean? Like I
mm-hmm.
really was trying new things, but to them it came out perfect. You know, it's just like performance art. You know, where
Yes.
nobody knows you're messing up unless you tell them.
Right, like I said, we are our biggest critics. Because then, the one thing my art teacher always did say is there is no mistake. She gave us this final exam, and basically what it was is you weren't allowed to use the eraser on any part of the drawing. Once it's on there, it's on there. And if you want to fix it, the stroke of the pen or pencil, whatever like you're drawing with, has to fix like you have to fix it that way, but you're not allowed to erase anything.
Yeah,
And I'm
it's a
like,
good exercise.
yeah, that did help a lot to where like I learned to just like go with the mistakes and turn them into something different. But
Yeah,
yeah, there was a
going to
lot.
draw with a pen for a month. And I mean, I rarely use erasers just because. I mean, unless I'm using like a medium where I'm subtracting, like
Hmm.
intentionally subtracting, like when you use charcoal and then you do the whole drawing with these erasers. But that messes up. It messes your brain up subconsciously because in your head you're like, well, I can just do whatever because I can just erase it and fix it. But also on the other side, it makes you go, oh my God, I just made a mistake. The first thing I want to do is erase it instead of
Hmm.
actually seeing how do I work with what I got.
Hmm.
You feel me? Like it's stuff that I do where I make what's called mistakes, but I just change it up and I go, okay, he's an astronaut now. Just fix the hairline, you know?
Yeah. So at
But
this
that's what
point,
exposes by your creativity.
Yes, I love the creativity. So at this point, where do you sell your work at, and where do you like how do you promote it? How do you get your clients? Do you have like a website you want to tell people about?
So I went through all of that stuff the past few years, and I kind of took it all down. So right now, I'm kind of in like rebuilding the business side. So if anybody wants to buy my stuff, they'll be able to follow me on Instagram and Facebook
Hmm.
at Drago Artist, one word. And within the next few months, I should have a complete reboot of brand new website, brand new artwork, prints available, and I may or may not be showing up to events this year.
Okay. And if where do you normally do your events? Like where are they located?
Everywhere.
Everywhere?
Everywhere. I may be going to Dragon Con this year, and that'll dictate what I do the rest of the year because Dragon Con is pretty big for me.
Yeah. That definitely I know that that is big. I've heard of it. So and I know like does isn't it like multiple days as well?
Yes, it's 3 days. It
Okay.
is amazing. If not, then I'll probably be around Tennessee area, Chicago area, Middle Tennessee, and I may branch out to Atlanta. It just depends.
Alrighty. That's exciting to be able to go from deciding to just go hard and being able to travel with it now and make it a full time living. That's
Oh, that's
amazing.
definitely a thing. These past 7 years have been amazing. I've learned a lot too. So you have different types of events. You got like paint and sips, and then you have events where you're a vendor, and then you got events where like you're low key kind of hosting. And I've learned that I don't like all of them equally. I definitely prefer to have the larger uh, vending events like conventions. I like convention crowds; those are nice.
Definitely. So at these conventions, do you ever find yourself wanting to consume cannabis?
Oh yeah, I find it close to my friends. So that's why I like them because I meet other vendors and they trade me CBD products for art, and that is the like best thing in the world. So I brought up the neons I went through.
Mm-hmm.
The neons really cool because if partake in the extracurricular activities and you put the LED lights up and you put them on strobe or like the fade
Uh-huh.
change colors with my art. Oh my god.
Oh, I never even thought of that. That reminds me of back in the day, like when I was a teenager, they had like these smoke closet rooms and they always had a black light on with these cool ass posters and
Yeah,
like you wanted to
yeah.
be on shrooms when you were looking at.
The studio used to be invite only at certain times because that was lit. So prints don't pull up as well as paint does. Paint has such a more like a greater reaction to light, and it is amazing. I have pieces that I intentionally painted, and when you turn the lights on, it looks like they're moving. I have
Oh,
these dancing ballerinas. I got this chick with these headphones and music's going through them. Even though it's a 2D picture, it looks 3D because of the light.
I'm
It's
very
super dope.
intrigued.
Yeah, and CBD's helped out quite a bit with a lot in my life because I'm a veteran, so I do have some war-related illnesses and injuries. And one of them in particular, I haven't been able to find a solution for. I've tried everything. I have a pinched nerve in my back, and so all this art stuff has been my journey with PTSD.
That's amazing. So
So
when you served,
I had not I had not worked on my PTSD before art. Before it was just like, well, this is just what I have to live with. I can't see blood or I spaz out. If I drive too long, I'm mentally overseas. I can't be around crowds. There was a lot of issues that I had to deal with, but through art, I dealt with most of them.
that's
But
amazing because I know a lot about the PTSD, especially from vets. I've interviewed quite a bit of them, for sure. So at this point, I'm amazed that the art helped you. But I want to thank you for your service, and I want to ask you if you don't mind, where did you serve, and did you go overseas to any active battles?
yeah, thank you. I'm a combat vet, Army, 12 years, Afghanistan, Kandahar. Um, and you just do what you signed up to do
Hmm.
because that's what everybody else is doing.
So I got a
The better
couple
you do
small
hard stuff,
personal
the more you volunteer
questions.
for or get voluntold to do. So,
That is true. Now, what I personally feel is after like anytime you serve, like especially 12 years, or if you have gone over to active battle, like you said, you were combat. So I'm sure you've seen some of the craziest things and have been in some of the craziest situations. I definitely feel like they should offer or make it mandatory some form of counseling, or just to make sure each person is okay, because sometimes people think they're okay and then they later, like you said, I see something like the blood or something and I realize I'm not okay. That's not okay, so then you're like, and I just feel like they don't afterwards give enough of a band-aid for the mental help to fix the soldiers that have done
Oh,
so much.
sweetheart, ain't no band-aid gonna work for that.
No, no
We
band-aid,
need
but
some
some form
lucrative
of
band-aids.
counseling, some
So
form of something. They're not giving.
it's one of those things. Have you ever carried something in the house and didn't need help,
Mhm.
and somebody offered you help, and you're like, no, it's cool, I got it.
Mhm.
That's just an example of you can't help someone that isn't asking for help.
Yep. But that's
You know,
why
at the
if they
point
did
where
it
you
like,
decide to,
if they did
when you ask
mandatory or
for
just
help,
made
there's
it,
no bad. Hmm?
I think it's like if they just made it mandatory, like upon release, like that, an honorable discharge when they discharge you guys or send you guys back home.
But,
It's just like I've
but you hear what
spoken.
I'm saying though? That
You have to be
can't
ready.
you can't do that. Yeah, like you can't force them. And not just that. The first thing I wanted to do when I got home was be with my family and my
True.
girlfriend at the time. So I actually told them a lot of things that they wanted to hear just for me to skate by. Because if I got a red flag on either one of those stations leaving out, I wasn't going home for another 6 months.
Oh,
If
I
I
didn't never
said
hear
if I
that.
said like if I said the completely wrong flag, I wouldn't be going home for another year.
I've never heard someone say that, but that makes perfect sense on why so many people that serve do when they try to, just be like everything's okay. That
Like
makes
I had an injury that I needed surgery, like serious surgery for, and I just toughed it out and held a straight face. But if I had said something, then I would have had surgery and stayed there for rehab in Jersey for like another 4 to 6 months, and still not been around my family or had anybody there for me. It would have been even worse because even all my buddies would have been gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. And that makes perfect sense on why people do, like you said, fake it and do that. That makes sense. But that's sad at the same time because I really wish that they would just send you home. Obviously, you're injured. Go home to your family, get help, get fixed, and you're going home anyways. Like, what's the difference?
Well, it's a liability issue because if they acknowledge, if you say you have an injury, it is now on them to fix that before they send you home. Otherwise, you could be
Mm.
driving, and especially with TBI, with traumatic brain injury, you could black out while you're driving. And because they knew about it, it's their liability, and now they have to explain to the family, or the family can sue because they let the soldier come home with this known injury.
That makes
Now, if
sense.
the soldier decides not to say anything, then that's on the soldier. So,
Right. That is. And it makes sense that you have to be 100 to go home. So, of course, I'm going to do whatever, say whatever, so I'm 100 so I can leave. Like,
yeah,
I want to go home. So,
yeah.
it makes sense. And I'm really glad that you found art because a lot of people, they don't find their happy spot or the things that make them happy to get over those, trials and tribulations and to be able to deal with those, the PTSD and the anxiety that comes with the battle.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And a lot of people they kind of turn to other things to kind of to bandage it instead of using it to fix it. So they'll turn to alcohol or drug use or drug abuse
Hmm.
and not realize that there are ways to use those things in a way better scenario. But you got to be right first.
You're 100% on that.
I got a
Definitely.
lot of friends that make a lot of CBD stuff, and because I'm not using that to fill a void, I could use it medicinally. So when I'm having my back pain, I got this salve that I can put on my back, and it is magical. If my anxiety is kicking in, pretty bad, and I can't calm it down, I got these little gummies I can take, and they, buzz me out for a little bit, and I'm cool. You get what I'm saying? Like,
Yes. So you're just full CBD. Have you ever tried THC?
yes, 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 both. I mean,
Both.
this lady, she made this tincture. It is 190 proof, and it's pure THC and pure alcohol.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, when you dip it on your tongue, it like makes your tongue. It feels like a trip. Like I feel like my tongue turns into butter.
Yeah, that sounds
That's when my
smoothing and
back is really
beautiful.
bad.
Good.
Yeah, yeah. So I got my own little relaxation station when I need it. I feel like everybody has like a little kit that they keep to themselves.
Mhm. Well, mine, I am. I definitely I grow pot, so I we smoke the cannabis that I grow. And it's perfect. I'm always happy. I ditched a bag of medication for cannabis
Oh
many
yeah.
years ago from multiple diseases, and then I try to avoid all forms of pharmaceuticals. At this point, I'm
Mm-hmm.
just full cannabis as many times a day as I feel I need for today.
That's because people don't realize how much, like how beneficial it is. Like it coats the kidney. It helps with the bowels. You know what I mean? Like it helps so many different parts of your body, and people don't even realize it. You know,
Yes, the
it's kind of
amount of
sad.
medical. I have kidney disease. I have IBS. I have intercystitis, gastroparesis, endometriosis, adenomyosis, osteoporosis, thyroid disease, lupus. I could go on and on and on. But
Yeah, and it
I
helps with all of it.
yeah, and there's no like FDA that studies mixing all of those together as a cocktail because you're taking them all within a day, and you can't even
Mm-hmm.
participate in the clinical studies for like some of these disease medications because you have multiple diseases and you're on multiple medications. But they give you
Yeah,
those same medications, but you don't know the reaction because you're now creating a whole new, you know what I mean?
a whole new biology. And then
Correct.
after this chemistry experiment, your kidney is destroyed, and now you got to take kidney failure medication.
Mm.
Like
I've
just
avoided
grinding
those. I'm
yourself
not,
down.
I've refused the dialysis. I'm just going to wait until it's in stage 5 and then I will go from there at getting dialysis because now it's like I have to. And I'll wait for a transplant, I guess. But I've already done like more than 30 surgeries in my past for other diseases. And
That's
the,
exhausting.
yes, I've literally have lived my life in surgeries. I've been surgery free since 2000. Well, I've had one surgery since 2018, but it was just a colonoscopy again. That's not, I don't consider that a surgery compared to my other surgeries. But I've
Well,
had 3 go
congratulations,
wrong.
and I commend you. I commend you for your journey because that is a hellish journey to go through.
Yes, I've had 3 surgeries go wrong, which is how I developed the kidney disease to begin with, was from one of those.
Mm, I'm
Um,
sorry to hear that.
it's okay though. Now I'm just medication free and I'm just on cannabis and I'm doing really good. I even had cervical cancer at one point in time and that's been gone and cleared. Um, I've had a lot of different tumors, cysts, fibroids, all of the above. Like literally anything that can happen, and I truly believe it was because of the chemical biologies that you just said of the cocktails that we mix together. Because once I got off
Yeah.
all those meds, all those diseases got better. And A, it's from
Yep.
cannabis, or B, it's from the cocktail that I was on that you guys were giving me that was now creating new diseases. I would go to the doctor for complaining of something, and I have I leave with 3 new diagnoses of 3 new diseases, and it wasn't like in a set. It's like disease, like oh today you got and
Yeah.
we're going to test you
Yeah.
for because we also think that that's caused by, so they're always on a hunt of an underlying cause, but really they're like adding pill after pill after pill after pill, getting you sicker and sicker and sicker, creating another cause, creating another and another, that literally once I stopped the rabbit hole, I've been really healthy. How?
Yeah. And it's crazy because I don't know how much you're trying to talk about on this show, but
Anything.
the health issues that are usually not in your case, but just usually a lot of those things that you listed, they're all generated from what we eat.
Mm-hmm.
So we're eating all these foods and these same chemicals that are in these drugs. So just imagine they're putting the poison in the food and have the antidote in the man-made medicines. But the poison was man-made too. It was all the things that they added to the food. And even now, especially during COVID, people aren't even thinking, they aren't paying attention to how many people are now allergic to gluten. Is it really gluten, or is it them making bread with something a little bit different than what they used to? Or is it the combination of chemicals that have changed and all the various things that we've eaten
Would you
that
like
are
your
now
answer?
starting to change our our chemistry, you know?
Yes, I do actually have your answer. It's been something I've been recently really hardcore into. So we have like different every country has their own rules or FDA regulations.
Yes, yes.
And
And
for
people don't
instance,
know this. Yeah.
Doritos is one, Hot Pockets is another. Those two products
Yep.
alone are banned in like every other country because of just
Yep.
the ingredients alone. We allow
Yep.
companies that other countries do not allow to put in their food. And in order for Doritos to sell in another country, they have to remove these said chemicals or products.
Yep.
Okay.
Especially like Red 42. Red 42 is directly linked to ADHD, and it's just like, so why are we still selling this?
Exactly.
But it's because everything, or not everything, but so many snacks have Red 42. So if you look at, big money moves, yeah, they want the money to keep moving. So
It's monopoly.
we just won't sell to them. We'll just put it on sale for us so we can sell even greater quantities of it. Then when you eat that, your body is in deficit of certain vitamins, which leads to, guess what? Depression, anxiety, all these other different things that we're starting to say we have, but in reality, you just have vitamin deficiencies because your body's full of crap.
You're 100% right. And if you change your diet, you change your life.
Yeah, like I know so many people that say they're tired and cannot get out of bed, but their solution's always caffeine or energy drink. But what about vitamin B, bro?
Yep.
Oh, well, I'm depressed or I'm not in the mood. Well, it's because you gotta get out and get the sun. That's the freest vitamin we can get.
Yep.
I'm
D3 will
always
make
sit there.
you
Oh,
D3 will
I'm
make you
always
feel depressed, and B12 will deplete the energy. And most of the time, it is a D3 or a combination of the B12 energy that causes those because you're not eating properly, or you're not eating good food, or too much preservatives, or this or that.
exactly, but people don't want to hear that. And what's the first excuse they always say? Oh, well, it's expensive. Not since COVID. No, the hell it ain't. Because I got to looking, and eggs is goddamn $25 for one egg. So last time I checked, it's cheaper to eat healthier. The same sausages that I used to get that were red meat, the chicken sausages were cheaper. Well,
Mm-hmm.
now the vegan sausages are even cheaper. So I
Yep.
grabbed the vegan select, and those are delicious.
Yep, it's actually changed. Like years ago, it used to be like healthy food was expensive. Now it's cheaper than the non-expensive, like the other. It's flipped completely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I even cut out pork because with gastroparesis, my stomach like it gets paralyzed from certain food and it's hard to digest already, and it's already got so many issues that like I just cut it out and all the hormones that come in the pork. So I did do like
Yeah, I thought.
elimination diets and things over the years to also try to help me get kind of like to where I am medically.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, over the years I've had the trials and tribulations, and if it wouldn't have been for cannabis, I don't really know if I would even be doing podcasting.
Hey, whatever combination gets you through. Because in all honesty, I mean, nothing else is gonna work for you. That's your art. You applied your artistic mind to your life to say, I'm gonna make my own solution. You know.
Yes. Well, I definitely enjoyed you coming on. I want to ask you a few more questions before we wrap it up. Um,
Yeah, I'm done.
Who's been your support like through all of this? Has somebody been like helping you or supporting you physically, mentally, in any way, like shape or form?
In all honesty, I know it sounds a little cliche, but my greatest support has always been God my entire life. But by way of the people that I've met. So it's always random and completely different people. So depending on what phase I was in, it was this couple that I randomly met at a church, or this person that spoke to me on the bus stop. So I appreciate every individual that I've ever come across, because every single one of them has offered some bit of advice that I didn't have growing up, because I didn't have traditional upbringing. So, I mean, everybody, including my best friend Frank, this guy Jay, Mari. These people have been in my life, and they're good people, and those are the people that have stuck around.
Well, is there anybody you want to give like a thanks to, or is it like do you want to do like a general thanks perhaps to people for supporting you?
Oh yeah, yeah, most definitely. Mari, Frank, Jay, Binky, I love y'all, and I appreciate y'all. And family out y'all always got me. They're my little babies. Love my babies.
Yes. Well, I appreciate you coming on. If you want to tell people one more time, like where to find you and give them your artist tag name and how to properly spell it and stuff like that so they can look you on up. And then I will also include in the link a bio to your page that includes all of your other links as well.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, so you can definitely hop on to Google and type in Drago the artist is one word, and everything will come up. The Twitter, YouTube, Spotify, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, all of it.
All right, and it's spelled DRAO or DRAGO, um, and then the it's all together TAG artist RARTIST. Correct?
Yes, ma'am. And I'd like to thank you very much for having me on your show. I appreciate you. Thank you for the opportunity.
You're welcome. I really like your vibe and I really love your artwork and I definitely look forward to following your journey and I want to definitely have you back on in the future or anytime you're doing like an event and you want to promote it or talk about it, we would love to hear.
Yeah, most definitely. I do have some very exclusive art I've been working on the past 6 months. I know the people that follow me, I appreciate your patience. I've been posting a lot of crap on Facebook just because I haven't been posting my art, but it's because I found something new inside me and I'm working on mastering it, and I should be pressing it this summer.
Alrighty, so are you gonna like plan like an auction of some sort or
Yeah, it'll be a private auction for a certain group of art, and the rest of it will be open to everybody on the website.
you should definitely check out Canvas for the Cause. It's a nonprofit organization that I do with my sister. So we haven't really been active since after COVID. But I think we're trying to get back involved. And what we used to do is get art pieces and auction them off and help cancer patients. That's why it's called Canvas for the Cause. But it's for cancer patients. You should definitely check it out. And maybe if there's something small you want to do, like an auction or collaborate on over there, I am the CEO over there. We could definitely
Yeah,
make something happen over there. It's been like I don't really it's been a long time since we auctioned, but normally like we would just go to hospitals and get like patients to draw and do pictures and then we auction them off and we find like a person who is fighting cancer at that time and we try to help them with one of their bills or their hotels or whatever financial needs at that point that they're like finding in the hump that they're dealing with.
yeah, most definitely. Everybody that's met me in real life knows that I give away art like it's air. I just dropped off 200 canvases to this school, this local art school here, Community Arts, and I mean I don't mind giving away art, but I'll donate to a cause all day. I mean, if it has to do with cancer, kids, and sickness, I'm there. I'll run a class. I'll be the life of the party. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, see, that's amazing. So I definitely look forward to the future and having you back on and seeing where things go.
Yeah, sure.
Alrighty. Until next time, everyone, thanks for joining the 420 Smoke Room. Bye.